Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back, glad to see you looking fresh, and today, it's been 1 year since I've made a video, a tier list, talking about Marvel Rivals, a game which I had no idea I was going to be playing a year after making that video. So I, back then, created a tier list of my thoughts on every character after playing the game for a day. I thought it'd be interesting to go back and review my thoughts after 1 day, seeing how wrong I was about certain characters and how my opinions have changed, and then making an updated tier list, of course, with the new characters as well. So, without further ado, let's go to Old Dan and see what he has to say about these characters.
So, Adam Warlock is a pretty okay character. I'm not much of a healer.
He's pretty okay.
But I had a decent enough time with him. I'm already torn between if I want to put him in C or B. I think he has a lot of potential. I think if you like healers, he's going to be pretty good. So I'm going to put him in B.
Already, I think I was close. I was close with Adam. I think he's a C. I think Adam has an incredibly high ceiling, and I think a great Adam can carry a match. However, his floor is abysmal. Starting out as Adam, you're going to have a terrible time. To climb up to the higher echelons of Adam is incredibly tough work. If you can get there, like I said, he can carry a match on his shoulders, but it's tough work. So I think I was being generous for sure with Adam, but I was close. I think a C is a good place for him.
Black Panther is one of the first melee-only characters, and melee-focused characters anyway. And I enjoyed him more than most of the melee characters, so I'm going to put him in B as well.
Black Panther B for his entire history. I am interested that I put him in B. He was a laughingstock for most of this last year. And then one season, randomly, they buffed him, and everyone went crazy with him, and he was an absolute nightmare to deal with. So, for one season, he was an S, but the rest of it, I'd put him in, like, F or D. Overall, I'd probably put him in D now, but that's where I'm feeling. B
He's a pretty good character, especially, I don't like a lot of the melee-onlys, but I think he is pretty good. Black Widow. I like the concept on paper. She's part sniper, part melee, but that's really, really weird in execution. So I'm going to put her in C, because it constantly feels like you have to try to balance between the two.
So Black Widow, C tier. Again, I feel like I'm being oddly generous with a lot of these ones right up front here. Black Widow was an F, probably the only F tier character in this game still to this day. As a sniper, she can't really get it done. It takes 2 taps to clear out the squishies. As a up-close meleeer, yes, she has okay keep away. And with her abilities now, if you team up with Phoenix, you can kind of play a healer, which is a bit odd. But if you have that capabilities, it buffs her up a little bit. But that still, you have to insta-lock 2 DPS. And then you get a secondary healer out of it sometimes. And even then, you have to have someone that's going to lock Phoenix, which isn't a crazy common pick, and then Widow, which is a very uncommon pick. And then you have... regardless, I think Black Widow is an F-tier character.
And if you want to play up close, she's horrible. So part of her is really bad, and part of her is pretty good. So I'm putting her in C, because it's like very down the middle. Captain America, another melee-focused. You obviously get to throw your shield sometimes. A little slow. The shield is decently good. I'm going to put him in C, though.
So, Captain America's interesting. I started way back. I was trying to find a tank that I liked. I played Cap for a little bit, and I didn't like him. I agree with past stage here. He was a C then. He's since been retooled a little bit, and I do enjoy him more now. I think I'd bump him up a smidge. I think I was kind of on the money back then. I think I would upgrade him a little bit now, though.
All right. Cloak and Dagger. So, character swapping. I liked playing as Cloak. I didn't really like playing as Dagger. So, again, like Black Widow 50-50, I'm putting in C tier.
C tier for Cloak and Dagger, especially back then, is an insane choice. Cloak and Dagger has been one of the greatest characters in this game since the game came out. Cloak and Dagger could easily carry a game if a good Cloak and Dagger, even a bad Cloak and Dagger, the floor of Cloak and Dagger is very high, right? It's a very easy character to play, very easy character to master, and a good Cloak and Dagger is a nuisance to fight against and an incredible boon to your team. Insane that I put Cloak and Dagger in C, but to pass Dan's credit, this is a day after this game came out, and we had no idea how good healers were yet. So, Cloak and Dagger, I think as an overall, season-wise, it's either an S or an A, but it definitely not a C.
I don't know much of a history with Cloak and Dagger, too. It's cool to see them here. I like their concept of being able to swap.
Oh, that's right. I forgot, too, that I was including, like, my opinion on the character pre-game as well. So that has some play into it. I'm not doing that this time. This is purely based on the gameplay.
Each other, but that's their whole gimmick is that, and it's a gimmick. It's not an amazing gimmick, but it's a gimmick. At least they have something. Doctor Strange. Weirdly enough, as not a big Doctor Strange fan, I enjoyed playing as Doctor Strange. I might put him in A tier. I think I might go back and play him some more. I think he's pretty good.
I think I'm sticking with my guns on that one. I think that Doctor Strange, back then, if I could rewrite history, back then he's an S. Right now, for the whole year, he's still an A. He was a menace in the game. He could easily solo tag, but now he's been weakened every patch pretty much to the point where he's still good. They feel like they don't know what to do with him. Sometimes he gets buffed, sometimes he gets nerfed. They need to figure it out, but he's up and down. Overall, I think A is a really good choice for him.
Okay, so Groot, you're putting up walls. You can carry some small characters. I'm putting Groot in D tier.
Interesting. Because that team up is probably the worst one utility-wise. It's a lot of fun to have a Rocket or a Jeff with you. But in terms of raw gameplay and utility, Groot can be very strong. I think D tier is harsh. However, after playing one or two games with him and not encountering a really annoying Groot, I can understand why I put him in D tier. I still don't think Groot is as bad as a lot of people like to make it out. And I don't think he's the carrier that some people try to make him out either. I'd probably bump him to B, but probably not. I can make an argument for A, but like definitely not an S. Right?
Hawkeye is glass cannon. This dude puts out some damage, but he doesn't have a lot of health. If you get caught in the corners as Hawkeye, you are done for. But he's absolutely like the best sniper I've seen. He's great.
I think I'm right on the money. The whole glass cannon thing. A lot of characters are squishy glass cannons in this game, but Hawkeye, yeah, doesn't have a ton of keep away. Yeah, A is perfect. A good Hawkeye can be super annoying to play against, and it can really help out your team. But other than popping headshots, which he is amazing at, if you're good at hitting headshots with Hawkeye, that's wonderful. But there's not much else behind his kit other than that.
Hela, first S tier. They swapped to Hela. I immediately started putting up crazy big numbers. I've seen Hela in almost every game I've played. She shoots fast, those bullets hit hard, and wow.
Absolutely. Hela is, without a doubt, an S tier character. It's not even close. Hela has continuously been the most strong, steady, untouched damage dealer in the game. And Hela, even though she slipped under the radar a lot of the time, Hela, I think, probably is still an S tier, if not an incredibly high A tier.
Bruce Banner, the Hulk, I have mixed feelings on. So, a good Hulk is extremely annoying to play against. Playing as Hulk, he's a melee focused until he goes back into Bruce, and then he has a gun. I like the concept. I'm struggling between B and A. I'm putting B.
That's funny. In my head, I was like, either B or C. So, I don't know. with Hulk sometimes. I don't like playing as Hulk. He has good team ups with other characters. I mean, the Hulk Namor, Hulk Black Panther, Hulk Strange, and Iron. Like the Gamma team up stuff was really good. Hulk as an individual character, he can't solo tank, but he does get a second life, and that's something that Hulk players fail to acknowledge a lot of the time. You do get a second chance at it, and it's tough. But no other tank really. There's one other tank that gets it. My bad. But in terms of that, it's sometimes incredibly helpful when you drop down from a Hulk. If you can keep away his Banner, that's really nice. I don't know. I'll have to think on Hulk a little bit more.
And it's weird because when you take down Hulk, you also have to take down Bruce as well. So when you're playing as him, it's cool because you get like a second life. But fighting him, it's annoying.
Second life.
Then it's like, well, I just killed Hulk. Why is he still kicking around? So Iron Fist, a good Iron Fist is hard to do. I do think that he's probably the best melee only character. He's extremely fast. He does hit extremely hard. I didn't love playing as it because I didn't love the melee only ones, but I still think he's a good A tier character.
I was pretty close. I was pretty closer back then. Iron Fist in Season 0 was the best character, I think. I don't even want to think about how ridiculous he was. He has been nerfed back to where when you see an Iron Fist, you're not immediately terrified to play the game. I think low A, high B nowadays, but back then, geez, I don't want to think about it.
For sure. Iron Man is busted. Iron Man puts out a lot of damage. He can fly around, so he can very easily avoid fire coming in on himself. The flying characters get a buff immediately because flying is just...
Iron Man was really bad. When this game came out and no one knew how to look up, Iron Man, oh boy, Iron Man was a ton of fun to play because you could just blast people and no one would look up and shoot you. I don't understand. Nowadays, Iron Man is not nearly as good. A good Iron Man still crops up every now and then. B tier character though. During the flying meta, it was I don't want to think about the flying meta either, but yeah, Iron Man's not S tier anymore, unfortunately.
Jeff, the Land Shark, is my favorite healer in the game. I'm putting him in A. He's fun. He's a little menace to play as. He puts out a lot of healing. All of his...
So Jeff is an interesting one because he got a complete rework where a lot of his moves work differently now than they did back then. You can make an argument for Jeff being in literally any one of these. S all the way to F. Any one person could give a completely different opinion on where Jeff goes. I honestly don't know. I'll have to think on Jeff as well, much like Banner, when I put the tier list together towards the end here, but I don't know.
Loki. I don't like Loki that much in this game. I can see why people would. I can see really learning the situations when creating copies of yourself could really work and really play out well. I'm putting him in C. I didn't love my time with him, but he's not bad.
I agree that playing Loki isn't very fun, especially back then. However, like many healers, a good Loki can run the match. Nowadays, though, he has been nerfed to the point of not even like I guess irrelevance is the best word. Because he's still not bad. It's just every other healer seems to be so much better than him that it's impossible to justify using him.
Luna Snow, I've been told is good. I didn't see it. The only thing I liked was her movement. She had great movement. I love skating around. She's quick. She's fun in that way. But playing as her, I didn't.
So Luna Snow's definitely not a D tier. However, I still, other than her ultimate, still agree with Pastan. Luna Snow, who I play, if I play healer, I'm playing Luna Snow, people claim is this untouchable, undefeatable, the perfect character, and I have never experienced that. There are other healers that I have experienced that with, and it's like, yeah, I'm not the best healer. That's why I don't play healers that much. But even when I'm playing against Luna, I'm never like, that Luna is ruining me. It's always Cloak and Dagger, and then another character we'll talk about later who's not in the tier list yet. Those are the healers that I have a huge problem with. It's never been a Luna. I don't think I've ever complained about a Luna. I don't get it. She's definitely not a D tier. I'd happily put her in A tier, but I agree with Path Dan. People tell me she's this perfect, untouchable character. I don't see it.
Magic, as one of the damage dealers, she's slow. It's a little clunky. Her portals are not nearly as fun as Doctor Strange's portals are, so I'm also putting her in D tier.
Funny Magic in D tier because of how much this opinion kind of came back and hit me. Magic can be good. A good Magic can ruin it. It's not as bad as it used to be. See, back then, a lot of characters hadn't been worked yet. Magic C or B, definitely not a D tier anymore, but I'm not 100% sure because you don't see a good Magic as much as you used to, but when you do, they do some work.
Magneto is probably going to be our only F tier.
So this is the opinion that I have remembered, and this is the opinion that has haunted me since making this video. Magneto is not an F tier. Magneto was probably never an F tier after one day of playing him. No one knew that Magneto would end up being the most consistent tank for the next year. The only tank that never really dropped below even a B tier. I don't like playing him. None of my friends like playing him. That's irrelevant. Magneto he's slow, but he is consistently tanky. He has multiple shield options. He can buff his own, I almost said opponents. He can buff his own teammates. He puts out okay damage, and he has an ultimate that can one-shot a lot of characters. Magneto is going to be the most improved in terms of this tier list, for sure.
Mantis, weirdly enough, one of the strongest characters I played. I played and I did probably the best I did out of any of them. Like I said before, I'm not a healer player typically. I wouldn't have put Mantis very high. I just did really good as her, so I don't know if that speaks to me or speaks to her or the team I was playing. But I'm gonna put her in B tier. I was just bored playing as her.
I guess a weirdly roundabout way to put Mantis exactly where she needs to be. I think Mantis is good in the right circumstances, and I think that other healers kind of do what she does. Except the damage buff thing. Well, whatever. Now she's better. Back then, I mean, other ones did kind of what she was doing as well, but I don't know. I think Mantis is a good B tier healer for sure.
Moon Knight, the first character I picked. I wish he was S, but he's A. I think I just have fun playing as Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, I think is still A. I think he hasn't been tweaked all too much. He really gets buffed where he doesn't need to be buffed. And I recently I've been kind of getting back into playing Moon Knight, and I'm having fun. So maybe Moon Knight's just been that guy the whole time. So I think Moon Knight's good.
Namor, same thing. Namor has a really fun toolkit. The last character I played, I was saving one that I was really excited to play.
It's funny, yeah, because Namor, I've lorded Namor, and yeah, another really good A tier. I think you team him up with a Gamma Hulk, you team him up, hell, not as much, but back then you team him up with Luna, he gets bumped up one spot extra to an S, but I think base Namor, which kind of what I'm going with all of these, is solid A, just a solid A DPS.
Penny Parker is not very good. I did not enjoy my time playing this Penny that much. She's slow. She doesn't put out a ton of damage. I'm torn between C and D. I don't think she's as bad as these three. So I guess low C. I'm not putting her any higher than that. Low.
So Penny's another interesting character where I think people started to learn how to play her, and then she got better and better and better. And then all of a sudden they buffed her, and then she's everywhere. So I think Penny's another one that's going to be healthily improved in the ranking. She's definitely not a C tier anymore. I don't know if 1 tick up, 2 tick up. I don't think she's a C tier, because I do still think like the Rocket team up is really what's carrying Penny the most. Because if you see a Penny, you're almost always going to see a Rocket. If you don't, she's significantly worse. So I do think that team up is carrying her meta more, but she's still healthily improved over a C tier.
Psylocke, one of the first characters I played as, extremely fast, is extremely fun. She's not as busted as these two are, so I'm putting her high A.
So Psylocke, yeah, I think A tier, fine. Psylocke is for some reason a 5-star character, and I complain about that all the time. She should be a 3-star at most. She has the ability to go invisible and shoot. Pretty much, that's what she does, and she's really good at it. And a good Psylocke is the most annoying character to play against, and her ult is insanely good.
Punisher is another busted one immediately. Like I played him for within 30 seconds.
Punisher is busted when you're playing against people that don't know how to play this game. He outputs a crazy amount of damage very fast. He's the most basic character, I would say. There's easier characters. There's a couple, which somehow we haven't got to yet. Easier characters to play than Punisher, because he does have, a weapon swap, and he has a grenade, and he has a zipline launcher, and he has a deployable. This toolkit's bigger than some of these easier ones, but he's still extraordinarily simple, and he does output a lot of damage. Wouldn't necessarily call him S tier per se, but he's pretty high up there.
Rocket. Situationally with Groot, he's fun. By himself, he's decently fun. I think he's better than Groot is. I put him in B. I think he's fun. He's a fun character.
It's funny, because after this, I went on a spree of thinking Rocket was the worst healer in the game. Because if you remember, back in the day, there was this guy who was doing a no damage Rocket thing. And then when that became the talk of the town, every Rocket player was like, oh, I can do that. And so no Rocket ever shot their gun ever. So there was no extra damage being put out in a team fight. And they weren't good enough at healing, so it wouldn't... Anyways, the player base kind of ruined this character for me. Oddly enough, though, Rocket got buffed, his ult got buffed. I think B is probably correct. Even today, weirdly enough, I was wrong then. I ended up being right now, so...
Scarlet Witch is good, too. Scarlet Witch is very good. A little bit more gimmicky. A little bit more, like, hex power, and then you use, like, when you use how am I going to say this? You hit somebody, and then you use the hit points to use a different ability kind of thing. You stack it. The better you are, the better you are.
I guess that's how it worked. Is that still how it works? I don't know. Scarlet Witch shouldn't be as good as she is. I'm going to say that. Scarlet Witch should do half the damage she does, considering how easy she is as a character. It's absurd that she can put out the damage that she can. But she can.
Squirrel Girl. Didn't feel it. Doesn't shoot very quick. I get her movement speed is not as fun. Her movement skills aren't as fun. I'm gonna put her in D. Was not.
I wish Squirrel Girl was a D tier. I wish I was right. Squirrel Girl has to be the... Remember when I was talking a little bit ago about two characters that aren't as good, are easier than Punisher? Scarlet Witch and Squirrel Girl are it. And they're better than Punisher is. Squirrel Girl is... it just has to be one of the devs' favorite characters. The way that this character is treated, the buffs she's gotten, the non-nerfs that she's gotten, it is so annoying to be playing a game and always there's a Squirrel Girl on the other team just lobbing things at you that you can't see coming, and she's just outputting damage. Constantly. She's getting kills that she doesn't deserve. Her ult got buffed when it didn't need to get buffed. I hate playing against her, and she's everywhere. There's one character I could take out of the game, it's Squirrel Girl. I hate how good she is.
Spider-Man, I could see myself returning to for sure. A ton of fun, a lot of great movement off.
I would be very generous with Spider-Man in A tier. A good Spider-Man and a bad Spider-Man are two completely different characters. Back then, especially, a good Spider-Man was impossible to win against. A bad Spider-Man, though, would sink your entire team. I think Spider-Man is a perfect C tier character because people are still trying. People are still failing at Spider-Man nowadays.
Star-Lord, another A. They did pretty good with a lot of these characters. Star-Lord is a flight character.
Right, I didn't think back then that I would become a Star-Lord main. I don't think I talked about that. But yeah, right after this, once we started playing the game more, Star-Lord was the character I gravitated toward, and Star-Lord was the first Lord I got. He was always my first pick. I just loved playing as him. As the year has gone on, Star-Lord has not gotten any significant buffs. He has not gotten any significant team-ups. His ult was nerfed in the timing window. And, yeah, I think Star-Lord has fallen a little bit out of favor because of that. I think A was good then. I think B probably now, but I still love him. I still play him a lot, but it's just not... He's not the best as he...
Storm is, I think, the last of the flight characters, but that's her only thing. If she couldn't fly, she'd be...
Well, Storm B, I think, is probably still correct. There was a season where they made her ultimate the greatest ultimate in the game for whatever reason. Storm was everywhere, and once you heard her ultimate pop off, you knew we were going to die. So if we were talking just that one season, she is definitely an S tier, but... And the flying meta, she showed up again too, but overall, I think B is probably where she should go.
Thor is another one, very slow. He can like huck his Mjolnir to try to get a little bit more distance in him, but still not the most fun character out there. A lot of bonking people, unless you could throw Mjolnir a lot more.
So Thor at C, I think is weirdly correct still. I think Thor might be the worst tank in the game. They just don't really know what they want to do with him a lot of the time. They want a melee. Can he shoot? Can he move around fast? Is he slow? They don't know.
Venom's okay. Venom's okay. He's big. He's hard to take down. If you pair him with a good healer, he's impossible. He's got a lot of health. I'm gonna put Venom in. B.
I agree. You put Venom in B. So Venom as a dive tank is you have to pair him with a good healer, otherwise he's not gonna get healed. I guess you can swing back and get heals that way too, but Venom is the other character that has like the second life, kind of like Bruce, but his comes with an ability where he can just pop a shield, and a good Venom will use that every time and stay alive for a lot longer than it feels like he should be able to, but because of that, Venoms are one-trick pony, though. They come in, they take a lot of hits, they can do damage to you, and then they get out. They're one trick, they do their one trick very well, and they continue to do their one trick very well, but they are just that one trick.
Winter Soldier is another one that's just straight up good. As soon as I started playing as him, I can immediately see why I'm seeing a lot of...
Winter Soldier is just straight up good. For a little bit, he was probably S. Now he's probably still A. But yeah, good original pick. Pass, Dan. I think you nailed it.
And finally, Wolverine. I wanted to be good, but another sufferer of the melee only characters. He has a couple cool gimmicks. Rage Beater, like the more damage you do, the more damage he will do. And he does have an ability to lower his own damage, but with the melee focused ones, if you get caught in a pickle and there's 3-4 guys shooting at you from a distance, like there's nothing you can do. So I'm putting him at C.
So Wolverine was the last character of the original set. I do see what I was saying. Wolverine, though, is in the right circumstances, he's an S tier character. In the right hands, he's an S tier character. However, in most people's hands, he's probably a C tier character. I think I'd give him the benefit of the doubt and bump him just a smidge, but yeah, I think I was kind of on the money with how I felt about Wolverine back then, too. So, that was Old Dan. Let's jump over to fresh new tier list, including all the fresh new faces as well. And we'll see how everyone kind of stacks out. Okay, so we are back. For you, that was instantly. For me, it was a little bit. We have a tier list. Don't forget. Remind me if I was completely off. But if I slightly a tier or two off of what I just said, don't hold it too much against me. But by all means, let me know. We're going to quickly go through the ones that we just went through. Any of the new ones, I'll rattle on a little bit more about. But let's get going on those. Adam, C. As I was saying, a great Adam can carry. Most Adams are really bad, though. So, plus his movement speed is horrible, and yeah, it's tough. Angela, a new character. I don't think people have found her niche yet. I think people are struggling with her heavily. Me included. I don't like playing her that much, and I typically play tank in this game now. I was excited when she was announced. I don't really like her too much, though. It goes to show that, like, I see, like, one Lord of Angela since her release, and that's not a lot. So, Angela, I'm unfortunately putting in D tier. I think she has a lot of growth. I think in a year's time, I can be telling a different story, but for now, I think Angela's probably a D tier pick. Black Panther went through a phase where he was the best character in the game. He has been since returned back to where not where he belongs. I think Black Panther can be quite good, but I think that he's just not in this game, unfortunately, for many Black Panther fans. Black Widow is the worst character in the game. As I was saying before, she continues to be the worst character in the game. Blade, again, is another character where there's not that much special about him. He has this anti-heal ability, which works sometimes. It comes into play, but, like, not nearly as much as it should. And also, for a character called Blade, he uses that gun an awful lot. And he's a weird offbeat choice. I see one good Blade every now and then it's tough to play against, but he's just not that good, unfortunately. Cap has had a lot of reworks, and I've come to really appreciate what Cap brings to the table. A good Cap is very good, and he's tough to be good at, but I do like playing as him. Cloak and Dagger is continuously one of the best characters in the game. She may not be S tier at the moment. She may be, again, but it's right around there. Been top since this game came out. Daredevil is an interesting choice. I think people are terrified of him. I don't think people know how to play against him. I do think he's still really solid, though. Really, really, really solid. Even me, who I want to get better as him, I feel like I'm just button mashing, and I can still win like a 1v3 most of the time. And that's crazy to do. Doctor Strange is consistently a really good tank. He ranges all the way from S to B, depending on whatever season you're thinking of. I think overall, I'll be nice to him and give him do I want to be mean and say a B? I'm going to say B. I wish I remember what I was talking about just a moment ago. Emma Frost is... A lot of people would say she's S. I think I am more of the mind that people are just bad at fighting her. I play as Emma Frost. I love Emma Frost. I don't think she's really good. I mean, I wouldn't play her if she was bad. You know what? I think I'm just putting myself down because I like playing as the character. I don't want to be like, well, I play an S tier character. I'm going to give her an S tier, right? I'll go with the crowd a little bit. I'll let them persuade me. I don't like saying that that's what I'm doing, but that is what I'm doing. In my heart, I'm saying she's an A. In my brain, I'll bump her up to an S. She is really powerful. Her ult's bad, though. People complain about her ult. Her ult's not good. But I think she's really, really solid. Gambit, I think, has a really high ceiling. I think he has a lot of potential at the time of recording. He's the newest character. Rogue will be out in a few weeks. But right now, Gambit's the newest. I think he's a good, solid A, where he's at. He came out solid. I think he's solid. Groot, I think, is a B. I think that he has the potential. He can be really annoying, but he's not the carrier that some people want him to be. Hawkeye is a really good one-trick pony. He's really good at that one trick, though. Hela, do I want to just keep her an A? Hela is just really good. She is just really good. And she's simple, and she's good at what she does. She has good team up now. I think I'll put her at S. I think that's where she belongs. Hulk, I think is a C tier. I don't think he can solo. I don't think he's great at it. That second life mechanic is really good for him, but I think C is probably where I would put Hulk. Human Torch created a whole meta around him for some reason. So for that, he would have been like A or B or A or S, but like I think he's a B tier. He has weird tick damage, and in the right hands, he's quite good, but overall, I don't know. I don't love playing out. I tried him for a little bit, but not the best. Invis is the best healer in the game. Has been since he came out. I don't care what anyone says. He still is. Her ult's the best. She's incredibly powerful, and she's really, really good. And so easy S tier for Invisible Woman. Iron Fist, How the Mighty Have Fallen. Used to be a complete menace, but now it's just another melee flank dive character that it used to be terrifying to hear his ult, but it's just not as much anymore. Iron Man also used to be a horrifying, terrifying character to see coming, but now is just another flyer. I think the argument could be made of switching Human Torch and Iron Man, but I think for right now, I think right there, it's probably the best for them. So Jeff is a tough one for me. I think the problem with Jeff is that there's a lot of bad Jeff players. I do think that is the issue with me. I think Jeff has the potential to be really solid healer the entire time. I think he's a really good A tier character. Loki right now is falling from grace quite a bit. I'd put him in C. However, a good Loki can still carry a game most of the time, but he's just been outclassed by a lot of other characters. Luna Snow is easy A tier right next to Jeff. Like I said before, I think that a lot of people clamor that she's the best healer, the untouchable, greatest character in the game. I don't see it. I've never seen it. I think she's really good, though. Magic is another one where, at a time, I would have had her much higher, but now I think she's down here with Iron Fist. I think she's a good C tier. I might be getting too mean. I just don't see her as much as I used to. If she has like a healing, I'll bump her up to B. Sure, why not? Magneto is... I was wrong. A year ago, I was wrong. Even though I don't like playing as him, there's a reason he's the most picked tank in the game. He's just solid. He's just solid, and he's tough to take down, and he does what he does well. Mantis has been pretty good lately. I think a good solid B. I think that's where I had her before. I think that's where she belongs. Mr. Fantastic is a weird dude. In any given game, Mr. Fantastic can either be S tier or F tier. He ranges the whole gamut here. Weird tank hybrid character. I think another B tier character, honestly, though. These two next ones are pretty easy for me. I think Moon Knight is an A. And I think Namor is an A. Two characters that I've played a decent bit of. Namor more than Moon Knight, but still. I think they're both really solid damage dealers. They do really interesting things. The Onks were a big talking point for a while, and I think the Squids are too, but... Penny, I think maybe another A-tier character? I think she buffed her enough to where she could totally stand on her own. I mean, she heals now, for crying out loud. I think Penny's a good A-tier pick. Phoenix is tough because she's just another hit scan. She's like if Star-Lord was a hit scan character. I think, is Star-Lord hit scan? I think it's the damage drop though. So it's like if Hela and Star-Lord had a baby, but not that great. You see a good one every now and then, but like she's definitely like a C or a B. I think she's better than C is not, so I think a good C. Psylocke is another A tier. It's just super easy character to play, easy to do damage with, easy to win with. Rocket, B tier again. I think, like I said, there was a time where I would have put him way lower, but I think he is quite good. He has good utility with Penny. He brings a lot to the table. His ult's better now. He's pretty good. Scarlet Witch is easy A, maybe an S, but I do think that she is easier to deal with than the other annoying, super easy character to play, who I'll just talk about now. Actually, no, I won't. What? No, I guess that's, yeah, alphabetically. Spider-Man, I know I said I was going to put him in C, but honestly, what are you doing? Spider-Man is such a hard character to deal with now as a developer side, because he was to the point before where good Spider-Man could carry, and a good Spider-Man was really good. But like nowadays, a good Spider-Man is just kind of okay. I think the worst part about Spider-Man, dealing with this character, is when you're trying to queue up for a game and you see someone pick Spider-Man, you know they're gonna do bad. It's I'm putting him in D. I know before I said C, but I'm putting him in D. It pains me to do this. It really does. But Squirrel Girl is, and people would say just get good. Dude, I can't tell you how many times this character has ruined the game for me to the point where I'm like, I don't want to play this, not the whole game, but like individual matches, to the point where I don't want to play this match. Because there's a Squirrel Girl in it. And she's just shooting nuts at the team and just winning. She's just winning. And then what do we do? Because you go up and you chase her, and she bounces away, she throws a nut trap at you, and you're stuck there, and then she just like lobs a couple and you're dead. Alright. Nerf Squirrel Girl. She shouldn't be this good. She should not be this good. With how easy she is, her and Scarlet Witch should not be this good. Star-Lord, it pains me, but he's not been good the last season. He's not good now. I love him to death. I love playing as him. A special place in my heart character-wise, and in this game, my first Lord, but he's B tier at the moment, unfortunately. Storm is as well. I think when they realized her ult was too good, they dropped her in many other aspects, and she's not horrible, especially in that flying meta, as he showed up a lot more, but you know, it is what it is. Punisher, I think, is yet another just B tier. He's the easy pick to go with when you need to take out a flyer, you need just a hit scan character, but overall his utility isn't as high as it once was, but he's just solid still. The Thing, I play as the Thing. I love the Thing. I like how they just keep giving him abilities, and if they keep giving him abilities, he's just going to keep getting better. The Thing is easy to play, hard to master, and I sound like I'm sounding like I'm patting my own back when I'm saying that, and I kind of am. He's easy to pick up and go with, but he has a couple mechanics which are really weird and wonky to really master, but he's a solid rock. He's really good. He's really good at what he does. Thor still is, I said before, maybe the worst tank, but Angela's there now. So I guess he's not the worst tank in the game, but he's not a lot better than Angela. Ultron, I think, is the worst healer in the game. I think everyone can kind of agree with that. He just doesn't play his role correctly. He doesn't feel like he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So I think he's another flying DPS that... Why he's not healing as much? Why isn't he healing more? It's tough when you're talking about a flying healer, because that could be incredibly annoying to play against. But if you're going to do it, you might as well do it well, and Ultron's just not it. Venom is another solid B tier choice. I think that he's good at what he does, but he has that one trick like I was saying. Bucky is still A. He's still good. He'll be good, and they won't touch him for some reason, but that's how it is. And Wolverine is another tough one to pick because he's so wishy-washy on if you have a good Wolverine and you're playing as a tank, you're going to have a bad time. But if you're not playing as a tank, then he doesn't really matter. His ceiling is incredibly high. His floor, it's tough. It's like Adam. So I still think Wolverine's a C overall. So right there is my tier list for the current state of Marvel Rivals. What did I get wrong this time? What will I be talking about in a year's time? By all means, let me know down below. And thank you so very much for watching. Here's to another good year of Marvel Rivals. Here's to another good year in general. And hopefully there'll be some cool new characters. There'll be at least like 12 new characters to talk about in a year's time, which is kind of crazy to think. But they're sticking to one a month. That's what we're going to have. So yeah. Here's to another year. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.